time for a woman. You would if you found the right one. Why can't you at least have a drink with a woman who's not only nice, but seriously hot? Trevor's face was unusually somber. A girl like Charlie wouldn't have been happy here. Sure, she ran out on you. But if you'd been thinking straight, you'd have broken up with her first. I don't want you getting hurt again. Not going to happen, little brother. Trevor was the younger twin by 10 minutes, and Sean never let him forget it. Charlie Gibbs is ancient history. You're getting that look again. Trevor slid a hammer into an open toolbox. I don't have a look, Sean scowled. Anything between Charlie and me was over years ago. I haven't thought of her in I don't know how long. But after seeing her today, he hadn't been able to stop thinking about her, thinking about the two of them together. How they'd raced their bikes along the dirt paths that edged Firefly Lake, fished for brook trout in the beaver pond in the woods behind the marina, and had bubble-blowing contests with the gum they'd bought for pennies from the jar in the bait store. And how, when they were older, Charlie's mouth had curved into a special smile for him, her cherry-red lips swollen by his kisses. How her luscious body had fit with his like the two were made for each other. She was part of almost every memory Sean had of summers in Firefly Lake. He'd told her his hopes, his dreams, and his fears, and before she'd betrayed him, he thought they'd known each other mind, body, and soul. The word in town is Charlie and Mia plan to sell the cottage to some developer for one of those hotel complexes. Trevor's worried voice yanked Sean back to the present. Do you think they'll do that? Charlie said they're thinking about it. Sean grabbed the broom propped against the wall near the wood stove and swept scattered wood chips into a pile. The Charlie he'd known would never have sold out, but that Charlie was long gone, if she'd ever even existed. The girl he'd called Sunshine because she'd been his sunshine, coming back to Firefly Lake each year as spring slid into summer, lighting up his life like a birthday sparkler. Folks in town said that kind of development could ruin us. Trevor ran a hand over the paddle again, burnished gold in the late afternoon sun that flooded through the windows overlooking the lake. Especially if they put in a marina. Where did you hear that? Sean gripped the broom tighter. It's only talk, but lots of hotels rent boats, or people might bring a boat with them to explore the lakes and rivers around here. Trevor looked at Sean with a trusting expression. I told everyone you'd fix it. Sean dredged up a smile. Carmichael's has been in Firefly Lake for almost 70 years. Ever since Grandpa started making boats for summer tourists. It would take a lot more than some resort to put us out of business. He swept the last wood scraps in jerky motions. What about the boatyard? Trevor rubbed at the paddle with sandpaper. People who come here to get away from it all won't want that on their doorstep, us hammering and sawing all day long. Any resort won't be on our doorstep. The woodlot's between the Gibbs place and ours, and that's state land. I guess folks in town don't know what they're talking about. And his laid-back brother would put the worries out of his mind as easily as he'd change from his work clothes at the end of the day. I intend on keeping this business going for Ty. Sean had promised his grandfather and then his father he would. Maybe those girls of yours will take an interest someday, or have kids who do. Crystal's the only one who might be interested, but she's always had her heart set on working with animals. Trevor put the sandpaper away. You coming to the softball game? It's Friday night. Everyone will be there. Everyone, meaning Sean's mom, his 3 older sisters and their families, and Trevor, Linny, and their 4 girls. His family, his friends, and his neighbors, people he counted on and who counted on him. With Ty at his mom and stepdad's this weekend, I want to put some quotes together. You need to get a life. Trevor grabbed his lunchbox and tucked it under one arm. If you change your mind, come by anyway.